enjoy the difference.
Welcome to Classic Chevrolet, Making an Impact. I'm Jason. I'm here with owner Irv Randall. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very good. Thanks for coming out.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is our first episode of a series that we're gonna run to basically just talk about the state of the industry, kind of where the landscape of the industry is headed, as well as some kind of internal employee spotlight, some conversations we want to have to make sure we highlight people that are doing well and their families, and as well as talk about some impact and some involvement in the Lawton community as a dealership and as a company, locally owned company here in Lawton. So, welcome in. Thanks for watching. Irv, what's going on today? You know, we know that COVID has impacted the industry in a way that's got an inventory shortage going all over the country, and you've got some details on that. How has COVID and the aftermath affected you?
You know, I think one of the things that we went into this thing kind of blind. Information was very, the factory gave us a little bit, not much. And I don't think the government really knew what we were dealing with. So society didn't know. So the effects of what was coming, we didn't see the storm coming. We just were trying to sell cars, trying to manage our business, and then it kind of just came on throughout the world, and it affected everything that was in sales, restaurants, cars, every type of business that interacted with people got affected. And I think as that affected people were laid off, jobs, factories closed, then I think production for automobiles started coming to a grinding halt. You had to live off the inventory you had, or they shut some stores down. If you were not basically a need that people needed as a vehicle, or you were not a necessity, then most places were being closed down. And we were very fortunate to stay open throughout this process.
So technically, from a product inventory standpoint, you know, obviously personnel was affected kind of across all industries, across the world, really. And inventory and retail and things like that were affected. How did it affect your dealership specifically, as far as, you know, your apparently sudden inability to get the inventory that you needed?
Well, what happened is that we went from an overflow of vehicles to basically limping along on a very small amount of vehicles. I think we were at some point, new cars, we were at some point over 600-700 units. We went from 600 to 700 units to, at some point, 8 new units on the ground.
Wow.
So we had to look at a lot of our processes. Knowing that we didn't have the new car inventory, we had to really ask people if you had a pre-owned vehicle that you might want to sell. We would want to pay top dollar for it and get that and use the used car market and work with our service department and our parts department to come up with better processes during this time. So when we did get back to the influx of cars and the industry started to pick back up, we would have some good processes that we were put in place that are really going to make us a better dealership.
Now, you said the word processes a few times there, and coming from a sales environment myself in several different industries, you know, processes is kind of the name of the game. You know, following a step to not only the sale but the customer service aspect. So, how important was it when COVID came and inventory started getting really light? Like, how much more important did excellent customer service become in your dealership?
Well, you know, I kind of sat and pondered it for a little bit, and you know, and you hear Nick Saban all the time talk about believing the process in order to win. My thoughts were to work on our processes with what we had and get better at what we had in a small increment. So when we did get more in, we would be able to be a lot more faster. We would handle situations a lot more better. Customers would not be neglected with, hey, I've got a lot of things going on. No, we would have where there would be no cracks. No one would fall between the cracks. And our process, we're able to tighten up time frame of getting in a pre-owned vehicle and getting it to the lot. We improved that. Customer coming in, phone calls, internet services, how we handled our customers. We were able to change all those processes, and it made us better. And I think coming out of this thing, we got a great game plan, and we were very fortunate we didn't lose any of our personnel.
Right. Yeah, that's big. So let's talk about that a little bit. How what is obviously it's huge that during such an event like a global pandemic that you don't lose any employees, any personnel, any key essential people especially.
Right.
Because in lots of industries across the world saw people laid off. There's people were cutting costs, and payroll was one of the first things to go. You had to save costs somewhere. And talk about what the environment that you create, the culture that your team creates here, and how that affects and improves the quality of an employee's time here, and what that maybe had an effect on nobody leaving and everybody staying together.
Well, one of the things that I wanted everybody to understand, that when I got the information that I thought was pertinent to everybody needing to know the right information, trust me, and I'm going to make the best decision for our team. And as we went along, I was able to understand that, okay, we're going to go down in inventory. So, what's the number one thing that's probably going to affect you the most in your bottom line is going to be personnel. That's your biggest expense in a dealership. So with that happening, I made sure we were able to keep everybody working. We alternated morning schedules for one group, afternoon for another group, and we switched it back and forth, kept everybody working. That way no one was sitting at home and forgot all the skills that they had learned. They were able to still get to work and keep up with their customers, pay their bills, take care of their family. And that was important because, we're a big family dealership. Our number one concern is our personnel, our people, because without them, we can't function. So many times I hear businesses say, it's all about their bottom line. Well, our bottom line is that we want to make sure our employees are taken care of and that we're going to do the right thing for them, because if we do the right thing for them, it works twofold. They're going to do the right thing for the store, and they're going to do the right thing for our customers.
Right. Yeah, so I spent a little bit of time in the car business, worked at a couple of different dealerships, and had some friends, obviously, in the business that worked at others. And that's where this place really stands out. The focus on the well-being of personnel is really probably a key to the success of the store, as you said. And I just wanted you to know, from what I've seen, that's where your dealership stands out compared to others. Because with the others in this town and beyond, it is about the bottom line at first over everything. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So a good culture that you built here, for sure, good family atmosphere, and that's helped you kind of survive through the hard times of the first. Going on 2 years now, COVID, which we thought it was going to be 6 months or so, and here we are 2 years later. So, where do we stand now as an industry? Because I know there's still chip shortage, there's still an inventory shortage, and where do we see the next 5 to 6 months? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Where do we see ourselves going?
Well, I've always told our employees that as I got information, I would share it to them. One of the things that I think we're understanding is that right now, when I talk to General Motors, they've made it a point that they want to get every 2020 vehicle out by the end of the year to the dealerships.
Out distributed to
dealerships. They've already made a lot of vehicles that were just sitting idle at the factories waiting for chips. They're getting those as fast as they can to dealerships. I think we're going to have a big push to the end of the year. And then I think we're going to have a little lull going into the first quarter of 2022. And then I think we'll start to see a gradual move up. One of the things I told all our employees is that don't worry about other industries, like what Ford got, what Dodge's problems. Don't worry about those. We need to just concentrate on our side. And if we do concentrate on what we got, when we got customers, when we got inventory, when we got parts, when we got service customers, that's where our focus should be. And if we can give them 100% of our attention to those phases of it, we will be doing our job and we'll be a better dealership.
So by the end of 2021, most 2020s will be out?
Yes.
Okay, so
most 2021.
Most 2021s.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, and then you're looking at optimistic for 2022. Hopefully you'll start to see a more consistent influx?
Yeah, I've seen, right now I've seen a few Tahoes of 2022. Most of my Silverados are 2021s that are still coming in. And, one of the things that I've learned from General Motors is that 60% of their sales right now are truck, which is the Silverado, which is the High Country, and it is the Trail Boss. Those two units make up 60% of their sales. So with that kind of information coming out, that Silverado is their big selling factor. So they're gonna push to get that stuff out,
right?
Because its time here at the dealership is very short. Because now you can go online, look at on Chevrolet.com, look at that inventory coming to us, and you can pinpoint it, put your name on it. When it gets here, it's your car.
Awesome. Oh, well, anything else about the industry coming up for your store or Chevy in particular that you want, the people to know, or?
Well, I think everybody should know that, our philosophy here is we're here for our community. We're going to take care of the Lawton Fort Sill community area and surrounding towns. That's our focus, is to help where we can and to sell a few cars along the way. But we're going to make some friends that are going to want to buy some cars down the way, and that's what we're going to try to do. But our number one focus is trying to take this community to another level that makes people more involved and get people to be more concerned about what's going on around them. Because, me and my family been here 6.5 years, roughly, right, 6.5 years. And my thought is has always been to make our employees aware that we're not just a dealership. We're trying to move the needle as a community leader, not just me or my wife, but as a dealership, to change the way things are and make them better every day.
Right. Yeah. So we talk about your community involvement as as a family and as a dealership, and that'll be part of one of the staples of this series. So in further episodes, we'll dive deeper into kind of your involvement in community events and really the focus of your business as a whole, to not just, as you said, not just sell cars, but make an impact, which is what we're talking about here.
Yes.
So thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Classic Chevrolet. Relax, enjoy the difference.